For the 8th year in a row, the Army women's tennis team is gearing up for the NCAA tournament. The Black Knights will travel down south for their matchup versus the University of Alabama Friday afternoon. The 9th-ranked Crimson Tide will serve as host for the opening round contest. Patriot League Coach of the Year Paul Peck says there won't be any drastic changes in the team's approach.
What we try to do is try to go at it like it's any other match. You know, obviously the intensity's up a little bit because they're excited about playing a high-level team as Alabama, but you know the mentality is, hey, do what we normally do. You know, train, because if we do what we normally do and prepare the way we're supposed to, that we'll do well.
2 Patriot League tournaments also highlight the weekend slate. The 2nd-seeded softball team will open up with 3rd-seeded Colgate on Thursday. With all 4 teams meeting for the second time, head coach Michelle DiPolo says one factor will play a key role in who advances and who goes home.
It's really just going to come down to execution. I mean, I think we're all going to prepare as best as possible, and we all know what to expect. But it's going to come down to the day of who can actually execute. And maybe a pitcher throws a missed pitch. Maybe they don't hit it. Maybe their pitcher misses a pitch, and we do hit it. Then it's going to come down to those sorts of things. And this time we're preparing for 3 different teams in 3 days, as opposed to 1 team for 4 games.
Back at West Point, the top-seeded baseball team will host 4th-seeded Lafayette in the Patriot League semifinals. The best-of-3 series will start with a doubleheader on Saturday. Patriot League Coach of the Year Joe Sotolano says his young squad will be ready for this challenge.
Once the game starts, we're all ball players. We're further along in the season where there's really no freshmen anymore. They're all baseball players. They've all experienced 50 games basically, and also a long fall and training session. So I think the biggest thing right now is they keep the seniors and the upperclassmen in general to keep the guys focused on the task at hand in the preparation. And once the game starts, then we all come together as one anyway.
Coming off of last weekend's Patriot League championships, the track and field teams turned their sights on the ECAC and IC4A championships. Head coach Troy Engel is anxious to see how his athletes perform after a strong showing against their conference foes.
There's potential for one of 2 things to happen at the end of a week like that. The kids could feel very, very good about where they are, and that we know that their fitness level is high. We just got to be concerned about the fatigue, and they can ride that wave into a good, solid next week. Or, the wear and tear could start to tell, and it's early in the week, so it's hard to tell. We'll know by the end of the weekend. The real compounding thing that is our great concern at this point in time, across the board, both the athletes and the coaching staff, is proximity to final exams. And that's got to be all of our priorities at this point in time, is making sure the kids get the rest that they need and the study time that they need to go into finals to be able to do as well as they can.
With this week's weekend preview, Rick Johnston, ITT Excellus Night Vision.